Welcome everybody, Modern Action Week 4 from Division 1 now between myself and Bryan Biscoll. I'm playing my usual deck that I always play, Green-White Company. Velikut turn 1 kind of tells me what he's on immediately, and I don't mind seeing that because Velikut players don't like to play Velikut on turn 1, so if he's doing that, he's probably a bit hard up for mana. That said, this is a pretty bad matchup for me, particularly game 1. My only chance of... I do have ways to deal with this, and mainly with Ghost Quarters, but I have to find them. I do have 4 Ghost Quarters, and I do have 4 Knight of the Reliquary, so I've got to kind of find them before he gets to 6. At this stage, I don't know if he's on the Primeval Titan Scapeshift, or just Scapeshift, or just Primeval Titan. Okay, so I've got my Knight. So the game plan here is to just race, basically. I'm surprised Sakura Tribal didn't block and then sack there. Not sure what he was doing. You can see he's up to 6, so I'm kind of just, what am I doing now? The reason I do this here is to force him. I fired off a path at the Sakura Tribal because I want to force him to remove the blocker before I can attack. You can see I've got a collected company there. Knight of the Reliquary is not going to attack because I have to... I have to Ghost Quarter, but at the same time I see that Ghost Quarter sitting on top, so if that came a turn earlier it would have been much better. The other option I do have here, because he's at 6 lands, Ghost Quarter, Scapeshift traditionally kills you at 18 with 6 lands, so you can see I'm at 22, the course has gained me some life. So I do have probably 2 extra turns here. So my thinking at the moment is to Ghost Quarter, is to Knight in response to a Scapeshift to Ghost Quarter that Velikut, force him to get 2 Velikuts, which would mean that he would be short of the 6 mountains required to do the lethal damage. Because Velikut itself is not a mountain. This is a matchup I have played quite a few times, so I don't mind playing it, but it's just one that I don't think I'm particularly favoured to win. Post sideboard, I have 2 surgical extractions, so I really have to mulligan aggressively to find a Ghost Quarter and hope that I can Ghost Quarter a Velikut and then surgical extraction it. This is a big play here at Anger of the Gods. So I'm just going to float a green so that I can collect a company. But he quite intelligently just passes to the second phase so that I can't take advantage of that mana. End step, I fire off my company. The reason I did this was because I can't wait a turn for that Ghost Quarter. I'm going to have to get it from... I needed to hit him and kill him basically next turn. Because my thinking was that because he's at the 7 lands now, he's in range of just killing me with Ghost with it. And you can see again Shalai. Shalai would take up 2 of the triggers, so because I would have hexproof. And again here I hold back Knight so that I can get a Ghost Quarter in response, but I think it's going to be too late. Particularly when he plays that land there, he's going to get he's going to get 3, 2, 4. Yeah, he's going to get the 3, and he's going to deal lethal. So he's going to take game 1. You can see a couple of times there I was just a turn behind each time. I just do the math and quickly count. Yeah, Scapeshift players never wrong in their math. It's one thing I've learnt. So we go to game 2. Now this one here I kept because it has an aggressive start, Noble Hierarch on turn 1, and I can get it. I've got the Ghost Quarter with the Rumming Up Excavator. That's the magic combo. But I do go a bit greedy there with the Courser instead. What the Courser is going to enable me to do here is to Ghost Quarter next turn, then play the Ghost Quarter again for my land. The only reason I keep the Knight of Autumn, I think I take out off memory the Voice of Resurgence because it does nothing in this matchup. Knight of Autumn can gain me some life. Or it can be a eraser. But you can see he's up to 4 pretty quickly here. But he can also see that Ghost Quarter sitting there. One card that I sometimes play that's been taken out is Aven Mind Sensor, which is really good against this deck as well. I normally keep it as a kind of a counter spell, so I do it in response to a Scapeshift. Now I've got 2 courses, so I'm going to start gaining some serious life here. And I'm going to be able to set up this play here where I can Ghost Quarter, then play the Excavator and Ghost Quarter again. If I can find an Azusa, then I've got the match locked up at this point. But this is a good 1-2 punch, roaming up Excavator with Tireless Tracker. Probably a bit of a misplay there. I fired off the Ghost Quarter again. I was a bit surprised actually that he had so many basic mountains. And that's a pretty big turn, so now I've got problems, big problems. You can see he knows about my Surgical Extraction there now, which is kind of going to screw me over. So I need that Surgical if I'm to have any chance. So I'm going to draw it here. But the problem for me now is I've got no way of getting the Valakut, because the Ghost Quarter has been used twice. I've got no way of getting the Valakut into the bin. So you can see he's at 10, but he's about to get 6. So I'm really surprised he played out that Valakut. And you can see my awesome top deck right there, the Ghost Quarter. I couldn't play that fast enough. I think once because he knew about my Surgical, because you can see it off the top from Corsa. I think once he saw that, there's no way he can beat me. Because his deck has 2 ways to win, Primeval Titan and Valakut. I don't think Titan can beat my deck because my Knights can just get too big for his Titans pretty quickly. You can see it, my Knight comes down as a 6/6. It's only got to crack that fetch in my hand, and it's now a 7/7. I held off on the Surgical because I was kind of hoping he was going to fire off a Scapeshift in response, so then I could Surgical. Just have a quick look. You can see the Destructive Revelry there, because one card that I bring in is Worship. Worship's not a match winner against the Amulet Titan deck, because they can just gun down all your creatures. But the reason I do bring it in is because it means that they have to divert Valakut triggers from your face to take down your creatures first. So I've got a bit of a play here. I can swing the Knight. He doesn't want to. I think he saw the writing on the wall and he conceded, because I can Ghost Quarter my own land to make it an 8/8 Knight. And you can see again this turn I've got the Ghost Quarter in hand. So now that I've got the Ghost Quarter, I'm just hoping he's going to expose a Valakut again. Basically I have until turn 6 to find it. But the thing generally with the Ghost Quarters is that if the Valakut player is playing their Valakuts early, they're probably struggling for lands. So I've got 2 options here, Knight or Worship. This is kind of a tough one. I go for Worship, the reason being that I'd seen Anger of the Gods, and my Knight would only be a 2/2, which is not good enough. I can Ghost Quarter next turn, play Ghost Quarter next turn into Knight, but that card there, Relic of Progenitus, just utterly screws my whole plan up. And now the problem with Relic as well is it works on both sides. It weakens my Knight, but it also he can also target himself and get whatever my surgical is aiming at. So somehow I've got to get him to tap out so that I can ghost quarter something, but it's going to be tough. And the other issue here is, my other out is to find a Knight of Autumn. I think I've got 3 in the deck, so if I find one of those I can take down that relic as well. But this is big trouble here. Summoner's Pact. And you can see he just very... Okay, so I don't have the surgical. I am going to ghost quarter a Velikut to start with though. And so he guns down and of course I get the surgical, but of course he has that mountain. So I think I actually misplayed quite badly there. What I should have done was ghost quarter, and then with the search on the stack, I think I can surgical. I'd have to get a rules check on that. I don't know if the surgical... I don't know if the search is part of the... and so another silly play I pathed to let him search for a land, so he machine guns down my last creature, so now I desperately need a creature, but it doesn't matter because he's going to be able to Scapeshift. And he would have machine gunned down all my creatures anyway. And there's the Scapeshift, so you can see he's kept up the one land, very keen eye there. I'm just testing, nothing to lose, see if he picks up that line of the relic or not. Unfortunately he does, and Bryan takes down Modern 2 games to 1.